Golden State Media Concepts presents the GSMC Classics series, with episodes of some of your favorites from a day gone by, a time gone by. Join us as we time travel to some of your classic favorites from yesteryear. The GSMC Podcast Network invites you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the GSMC Classics series on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Buck Rogers is on the air, brought to you by the makers of Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle, those delicious frozen confections on a stick. And now a message from the famous winner of the Typical American Boy Contest, Popsicle Teeth.
Hello, fellas and girls. You know what our gang did? We all saved bags from Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle and got a whole baseball outfit for the team. Balls, gloves, and everything. Boy, they're swell.
Now get Mom and Dad and everybody to help you save bags from genuine Popsicle, Creamsicle, and Fudgicle. And get your choice of hundreds of marvelous gifts. Get a wristwatch, a camera, table tennis, a wallet, lots of things. Bags are easy to save because they come on such swell-tasting confections. Great big, pure Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle, each on a handy stick. What a value for a nickel. So big and so delicious.
I'll say.
And made by the finest ice cream makers from choice, healthful, strictly fresh ingredients.
Say, kids, get a gift list free from your ice cream store and save it. It's got a coupon on it worth 10 bags.
Now, do you remember our last episode? Well, Buck and Wilma finally got on the trail of Black Barney's rocket ship. And we learned that Killer Kane and Ardela, with Barney as their prisoner, have landed at the ruins of ancient Philadelphia, where they're going to set up a new headquarters. Well, let's join them there and see how things are working out. Okay? Then here we go, 500 years into the future.
Well, Kane, what do we do now?
We make a little trip underground to establish a base of operations, Ardela, in what was formerly the headquarters of Professor Smith, the mad scientist.
They're going to use Smithy's old place, huh?
That's what I said. Come on.
Okay.
And handle that psychic restriction ray with care.
Okay.
Yeah, but where are we going? I don't see anything around here that looks like it might be Smith's old headquarters.
There, right in front of you. You see that hole in the ground?
Yeah.
With an old set of concrete stairs running down into it?
Well?
Way back in the 20th and 21st centuries, there was a network of subway lines running all along under the whole city. Now, that was before the Mongol invasion destroyed most of the principal American cities.
But what under the sun are subway lines?
Ever see pictures of railroad trains in your history books?
Sure.
Well, the subways were railroads that ran entirely underground.
Yeah.
Diverted a lot of traffic from the already congested streets on the surface and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Say, maybe the people who lived in those times weren't so dumb after all.
No. But if our friend Rogers weren't so dumb, he'd have stayed in the 20th century where he belonged.
Kane, you know just as well as me that Captain Rogers didn't come to the 25th century on purpose. He got caught in a mine accident, and a lot of gas come out of it, and he was held in suspended animation and all that sort of stuff.
Forget it, Barney. The point is that when Smith came here, he found an ancient subway station located down near the edge of the Delaware River here that was good enough to make into a headquarters. Now, you ought to remember that, Barney. You worked with Smith at one time.
Yeah, that was before I knowed any better. Smithy had it all fixed up with lights and a power planet and all that sort of stuff and things.
And that's why we're lucky in having everything ready for us to settle down here.
Yes, but I still think if Buck and Wilma get anywhere near here, they'll pick this as a logical place to look for
But
us.
even if they do, they'll never find us. Come along now, down the stairway.
Listen, I don't want to go down there.
Barney, do I have to keep a rocket pistol trained on you to make you do as I say?
Well, you can't make me work for you anyhow.
Quiet. Now pick up that psychic restriction ray and come along.
Okay.
Right down these steps?
Right. Now, what used to be Smith's office is at the end of a corridor at the bottom.
Here's the corridor, all right. Hey, how about some light down here? You can't see very well.
Wait a second, and I'll see if the lighting system's still in order. Now, that's better.
Much. Say, there's quite an establishment down here, isn't there?
Everything you could want for comfort and convenience. Now, this on the right was his office. Quarters are down the corridor on the left.
Wait a minute, Kane.
Why, yes. That little waterfall down at the end of this room. Yeah, I wonder how that got there.
Well, I can tell you.
Well?
Well, back in the old days when I was sort of foolish and thought I was an air pirate...
You'd be better off if you were still an air pirate, Bonnie.
No, sir, Kane, and nothing you will ever say will ever
all
make me believe
right.
it.
Go on with your story.
Well, one time, me and Louie was down here giving Smitty a hand.
Who's Louie?
Oh, Louie, he was sort of my right-hand man and all that sort of stuff.
Go on.
Well, Louie didn't like Smitty, and Smitty knowed it, so he kept treating Louie worse and worse, until one day Louie got mad and cut loose with an atomic bomb and blew the place up.
Blew the place up?
Well... didn't exactly do very much damage on account of it wasn't set very good, but it let through some of the water from the Delaware River, and that's what makes the fall.
Then the door to Smith's old laboratory ought to be right behind that waterfall.
Yeah, I guess so. Unless somebody's changed it.
Somebody's changed it? Who's changed it?
Well, somebody that is, well, maybe somebody come along.
You don't know what you mean. Adela.
Yes?
We've got to find out if the door to the laboratory is in back of that waterfall.
Well?
Well, how'd you like to hop through it and see while I keep an eye on Black Bonnie here?
Oh, and get soaking wet? Not much, Kane. If you want to find out what's on the other side of the waterfall, you can do it yourself. Or make Bonnie do it.
Hey, now, listen.
And take a chance on there being some way for him to beat it on the other side?
Okay, then it's up to you. See why that laboratory should be of such importance to you anyway.
Adela, if the water hasn't flooded that laboratory, we'll find electrical and scientific instruments that'll mean everything to us.
If it isn't flooded.
That's exactly what we're going to find out now.
What you're going to find out. Go ahead.
No, wait a minute. The force ray. Give me one of those non-recoil energy projectors.
Sure. Here. What are you going to do with it?
Use it to push the water aside and keep from getting wet.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry?
Yeah. Thought we were going to have the pleasure of watching you take a soaking.
Never mind that. Just be sure you keep Bonnie here covered with your rocket pistol. Now, here.
Hey, that's pretty good, Kane. Even if it's his duty.
It's the laboratory, all right, Adela. And it's in perfect condition.
Good. I'll hold back the water with this force ray while you and Bonnie go in. And then you can do the same for me with yours.
Right. Come on, Bonnie.
Okay.
And be sure you don't let that ray machine get wet.
All right.
That's it. Now, put the psychic restriction ray down inside the door here.
Well, now, how about...
Set it down, I said.
But listen,
Hey, Kane!
See?
What's the hurry, Adela? Take it easy, will you? All right. Come ahead.
Right. Well, this is better.
Now, get all the way inside the laboratory so we can close this door. That's it. And this, my friends, is our new headquarters.
Not bad, Kane. Not bad.
Not bad. It's perfect. Why, look at these scientific instruments. Smith may have been a bit balmy, but he certainly left us some priceless equipment here. And with that waterfall covering up the door, nobody in the whole wide world would ever discover us here.
No? Why shouldn't somebody else look behind the falls for the door to this place?
Because nobody else knows this place is here.
I hope you're right.
I know I am. Come on, let's get to work. Now, the first thing we've got to do is to put Barney under the psychic restriction ray.
Huh?
Plug it into that power outlet, will you?
Sure.
Listen, Kane, is all you think about the cycle description ray? I'm not going under it, see?
You haven't any choice in the matter, Barney, unless you decide to work along with us voluntarily. How about it?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't know what voluntarily means, but I won't do it.
That's final?
Yes, sir, and nothing you can say will make any difference.
Then the ray it is. Let me have that force ray, Adela.
Here you are.
Kane.
Get down on the floor under the ray projector, Barney.
No, sir, Kane. You can't make me...
Down you go.
Hey, they just forced me off of me. What's the big idea, kid?
Flat on your back, Barney, and right under the projector lens.
Take it off me, I tell you. You're pushing me right through the floor.
If you don't stop bellowing, I will push you through the floor.
All right. I'll stay. I'll lay still. I'll stay where...
All right. Now, Barney, I warn you. If you try to get out of range of the psychic restriction ray, I'll drive so much energy at you that you'll never get up again. Adela.
Yes?
Turn on the ray.
Right. How's that?
Perfect.
No, Sir Kane. It ain't perfect. And if you got any sense, you'll turn it off again. You hear me, Kane? Turn it off. This thing won't have no effect on me anyhow.
Quiet, Barney. Now, you'll find it much easier if you don't try to make so much noise.
But the light from it hurts my eyes.
You're crazy.
Well, I don't like it anyhow. So take it away. And anyhow, if you think this or anything else is going to make me work for you, why, you're out of my mind. You understand? You're... Listen, Kate. You know, it's funny. This thing ain't so bad after all, is it? Yeah. I kind of think I like it.
It's working, Adela.
Good.
And from now on, Barney is ours.
Yeah, the reggae. It's so nice and pretty and beautiful and stuff. Yeah.
Let the brave Captain Rogers try to upset our plans now. Rogers.
Central Radio Bureau, Davidson speaking.
Listen, Dave. This is Buck Rogers.
Oh, hello, Captain.
Contact Dr. Hewer again for me. Tell him we're still on Black Barney's rocket trail and following it with a gas analyzer.
Good, but
We found that it leads almost directly southeast of Niagara in a straight line.
I see, but now...
In other words, toward the ruins of ancient Philadelphia, which would make an ideal headquarters for a person like Killer Kane.
But, Captain,
Now, as I told you before, Dave, the more I think of it, the more I feel he's somehow connected with the disappearance of Barney. Now, will you get all that to Dr. Hewer just as quickly as possible?
But, Captain...
Yeah?
I've been trying to tell you, Dr. Hewer called here just a few minutes ago, and he left a message for you.
Oh, yeah? What'd he say?
He wants you and Lieutenant Wilmer to return to Niagara immediately.
What?
And meet him at his laboratory.
But we can't. We're hot on this trail for the first time. We can't leave it now.
Well, I'm sorry, Captain, but he made it plain that no matter where you were or what you might be doing, he wants you in his laboratory before you go any further.
Well, if he wants us to leave a hot trail, it must be important.
Judging by the way he spoke, it's doggone important.
Okay, Dave. Tell him we're on our way back.
So, Kane and Ardela have poor old Black Barney under the influence of the psychic restriction ray. The instrument that completely subjugates him to their wills. It'll make him not only willing, but glad to work with them. But I wonder what Dr. Hewer has up his sleeve.
Just imagine waking up in the morning and finding a package waiting for you. You open it up, and boy, there's a real wristwatch, or a doll, or fishing tackle, or roller skates, or maybe even a movie camera. Now, all you have to do is save bags from Popsicle, Fudgicle, or Creamsicle, and you get all those presents free. Hundreds of them to choose from.
It's fun saving bags from Popsicle, Fudgicle, or Creamsicle. They taste so good, and they're so big for a nickel.
I'm having a Fudgicle right now, kids.
A Fudgicle, real creamy chocolate fudge, frozen on a stick. Is that delicious? Be sure the name Fudgicle is printed on the bag. It's the United States registered trademark.
And save those bags, kids. You get swell presents for them.
Thus, Rogers in the 25th centuries.
Buck Rogers is on the air, brought to you by the makers of Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle, those delicious frozen confections on a stick. And now a message from the famous fellow who won the contest for the typical American boy, Popsicle Pete.
Say, kids, seems like everybody's saving bags from Popsicle, Creamsicle, and Fudgicle and getting the dandiest free gifts. Get a free gift list in your ice cream store. It's full of colored pictures of the presents.
Everybody loves Popsicle, Creamsicle, and Fudgicle on the handy stick. Are they good? So pure, so delicious, so downright refreshing.
Gee, you're making my mouth water.
Now they're full of energy, too. And a great big one costs only 5 cents.
The biggest nickel's worth I ever saw.
And remember, everything that goes into these great big luscious confections is the freshest and the finest. The kind of ingredients Mother uses in her own kitchen. Eat Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle as often as you like. They help make you strong, but be sure you get the genuine. Look for the name Popsicle, Creamsicle, or Fudgicle printed on every bag.
Save bags for free gifts every day. Save your gift list, too. It's got a coupon on it worth 10 bags.
Well, now with Kane and Ardela established in the headquarters at the ruins of ancient Philadelphia, with Black Barney under the influence of the psychic restriction ray, things promise to be pretty exciting. But let's first pick up Buck and Wilma aboard their rocket plane as it roars along on its way to Dr. Hewer's laboratory in Niagara. Here we go, 500 years into the future.
Doggone it, Wilma, I certainly wish I knew why Dr. Hewer insisted we turn around and fly back to his laboratory this way.
I know it, Buck. Just when we were beginning to get somewhere in our hunt for Black Barney.
Right. That was a good, strong rocket trail we were following, too. And there was no question about it being his.
Unless Killer Kane took that ship away from him.
Wilma, that's a greater possibility than I care to admit. Yes, sir, you'll never convince me that Barney had run off with an experimental ship that way unless somebody forced him into it.
And who could it be but Killer Kane?
Right. And that's why I hated to leave the hot rocket trail we were following.
Dr. Hewer knew we were on that trail, didn't he?
Sure. I had Central Radio Bureau tell him we were.
Then he must have something mighty important up his sleeve to make us turn back this way.
Yeah. Well, we'll be at his laboratory in a couple of minutes now and find out what it's all about.
Buck.
Yeah?
Why not radio to him? Plenty of time to do it before we land.
Sure. Here, you take over the controls while I do it, will you, please?
Surely.
Only you'd better keep cutting down on the power or we'll fly on by Niagara before we know it.
Hey, I should say so. Do you know how fast we're traveling?
How fast?
A little over 1,200 miles an hour.
Phew. That is stepping along, isn't it?
You bet it is. Out in space with no air friction to heat up the hull or slow us down, it would be like crawling along. Down here within the atmosphere, it's going some.
Yeah. Well, you take care of navigation while I make this call.
Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is cut down the power. There.
Calling V121. Buck Rogers calling V121.
Of course, he may not have got back to his laboratory yet, Buck. Central Radio Bureau said he had just started when we talked to them.
Well, calling V121.
Hello, Buck. Did you get my message through Central Radio?
Why, yes, Doctor. And we're on our way into you now.
Good. Well, then why are you calling?
Oh, just to find out what this is all about. We were hot on Barney's rocket trail
Yes,
and...
yes, I know, Buck.
Well, yes, sir, and that trail was so fresh the gas analyzer pointers were fairly popping off the dials.
Buck, I have an idea that finding Barney is going to be far more difficult than simply following up his rocket trail.
Sure, Doctor, but it's the first thing for us to do in any case.
No, the first thing for you to do is come back here to my laboratory.
But why, sir?
Tell you when you get back here. Now, come along.
Okay. We'll be there in a minute.
Signing off.
Signing off.
In a minute is right. Want to take over the controls?
Yeah, thanks. We can start coasting to a landing in about 2 shakes.
Well, take it easy. This ship isn't equipped with the gyrocosmic relativator, you know.
I wish it was. Poor old Barney and Willie thought they were doing us a favor when they took off in the ship that was equipped with one. And right now it'd be mighty handy to have it aboard here.
Well, here we are.
Yep. Hang on for landing. Now, let's go.
Right with you. Oh, hello, Doctor. Here we are.
Oh, come right in here, you two.
Right, sir.
Your radio call held me up a bit, but I'm finished with this thing in a minute.
Why, Doctor, it's the gyrocosmic relativator. Don't tell me Black Barney and Willie came back here.
Yes, Doctor. When did they bring it back?
They didn't. This is a brand new one.
Oh, I thought it'd take weeks to put one of these things together, and that you'd need impenetrite from Pluto.
Well, I used a few scraps I was able to salvage in the main power room of the Central Radio Bureau.
Yeah?
I've been spending every minute working on this.
Well, I'm beginning to see the light. You had us come back here so we could install this on our ship before continuing the search for Barney and Willie.
Exactly. As long as his ship is so equipped, yours must be too. And Buck.
Yeah?
I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm of the opinion that Kane and Ardela must have something to do with the disappearance of Barney and Willie.
We certainly agree with you on that, sir.
Yes. There, now.
Great day. You must have done some fast work on this thing.
Yes. And under a real handicap in the limited amount of impenetrite at my disposal.
What about the reports of impenetrite ore out near the city of Omaha?
Yeah, I've heard about that, too, Doctor.
Yes, but the ore is so poor that an entirely new means of reduction must be developed to really make it worthwhile.
Worth investigating, though.
Well, I'm going to look into it at the very first opportunity. Meanwhile, our only sure source is the far-off planet Pluto.
We can't very well afford to lose this relevator, then, can we?
No, sir.
But is there anything I can do to help you there?
I'll fit the photoelectric cell unit into place, will you, please?
Yeah, sure. Goes right in front of this gear system unit, doesn't it?
That's right. You'll have to use the power vise to fit them together.
Okay. But how about fastening them?
Oh, molecular tension will take care of that because of the extreme care with which they've been machined. Go right ahead and put them into the vise.
Yes, sir.
Help you carry, Buck?
No, thanks. I can make it.
There we are. Be sure the sections are accurately lined up before you try to fit them.
Yeah, they're in perfect alignment. And here goes the vise that'll make the gyrocosmic relativator that'll help run down Kane and Ardela.
Well, Barney, how do you feel now? The psychic restriction ray isn't so bad, is it?
It's marvelous, Chief. Just leave it on for a couple of hours or two more, will you?
Sounds to me as though he's had plenty, Kane.
Right, Ardela. You can turn it off.
All right.
All right. Get up now, Barney.
Yeah. Thanks, Chief. And I certainly appreciate your letting me get exposed to it. Yeah.
Then perhaps you can be of some help to us now, eh?
Oh, I'll try awful hard, Chief.
That's the stuff. What we ought to do, Ardela, is get hold of Rogers and put him under the psychic restriction ray.
Not a bad idea.
Dumb as he is, I think he might really be of some use to us. Well, from now on, we've got to take it easy and carefully plan everything we're going to do. Now, Barney.
Huh? Yeah, Chief.
Go out to where we've buried the rocket ship that has the gyrocosmic relativator on it.
Okay.
Take along a non-recoil energy projector so you can push the dirt and rocks away from the door of it and get aboard.
And then what?
Then take out the radio and bring it in here. But be sure you leave the path to the door of that rocket ship clear.
How come?
I want that ship to be ready for immediate takeoff, just as soon as it gets dark.
Okay, Chief, I'll do it right away. How about bringing the ship up out of its hole onto the level ground?
Not much. That would leave it in plain sight of anybody who might be flying around looking for us.
Oh, yes.
Having that natural waterfall out there to cover up the entrance to this headquarters is a real help.
Yes. And right here in this old laboratory of Professor Smith's, we have all the scientific apparatus we could possibly want, Ardela. Our setup is perfect.
Well, what are we going to do with it?
Before anything else, Ardela, we must send Barney out after supplies and equipment.
Whoa there, Kane. Wouldn't it be much safer for you to go?
Not by a long shot. The minute anyone in this country saw me on the loose, every radio in America would start buzzing. But Barney's all right. People are used to seeing him around, and no matter what he might be doing, nobody would try to interfere with him.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Of course I am. The only thing he'll have to do is stay clear of Niagara, where they know he's missing.
So far as that's concerned, though, they probably know he's disappeared in every city of the country.
Ardela, you seem to forget that our friend Barney is Prime Minister of Mars in his spare time. They wouldn't dare broadcast news of his disappearance in this day and age.
Okay. What are you going to have him do?
Go into a bunch of small towns and pick up all the weapons he can find. And bring us a good, fast space cruiser.
What would he do with the ship we have now?
Bring it along, too. It's equipped with magnetic grapples, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then all he needs to do is pick out a likely-looking battle cruiser, clamp onto it with the grapples, and bring it back here.
How about the chances of his rocket trail being picked up?
No chance. That ship carries a rocket dampener, which I hooked in. It'll leave such a faint trail that the wind will blow it away within a few minutes. Isn't as though he were flying out in space, you know, where there's no wind and a rocket trail stays put.
Okay, but don't you think this business of taking a lot of weapons from small towns is dangerous? Suppose somebody sees him taking them and gets suspicious.
Then all he needs to do is doff his flying helmet, look official, and pass some remark about being hot on the trail of Killer Kane and Ardela.
And what about the chances of Barney's trying to double-cross us?
Don't worry. The psychic restriction ray has taken care of that. Well, here he is now.
And look at him. What happened to you, Barney?
I'm all right, Miss Ardela. Only I got kind of wet coming through the falls.
Oh, why didn't you use a force ray to push the water aside?
On account of I had to use both hands to carry this radio. Here you are.
Did you get that wet, too?
Yeah, Chief. I guess maybe it did a little.
Then we'll have to wait for it to dry out.
Maybe it'll work anyway. I'll plug it in and see.
All right. Now, Barney.
Yeah?
Just as soon as it gets dark, I want you to go out and get us a lot of equipment from the small towns that lie to the west of us.
Sure, Chief. Only wouldn't it be a good idea if I was to take along some atomic bombs with me?
Atomic bombs?
Sure. To blow up the municipal storehouse where I'm going to get the stuff.
No, Barney. This is one time you'll have to go about it very quietly and unobtrusively.
Yeah, very Huh?
Now listen carefully, and I'll tell you what you're to get. For transportation, of course, you can use the rocket plane. That's equipped with these gyros.
There you are, Doctor. The photoelectric cell unit is in.
Fine, Buck. Bring it over here, and we'll complete assembly of this gyrocosmic relativator.
Right, sir. Here you are.
Will this be as good as the one on the ship Barney took away?
It's exactly the same, Wilma. With it, you'll be able to take off and immediately be going at tremendous speed without any loss of time for pickup.
Then Killer Kane, beware.
Fasten the power terminal line, Buck, and it'll be all finished.
Okay. There you are.
Good. Now, it's all ready to be put aboard your space cruiser.
Well, then, let's go. I want to get back on Barney's rocket trail before the wind blows it away.
Right. Coming with us, Doctor?
No, Wilma, I'm afraid not. I'm very anxious to investigate the possible supply of impenetrite ore near Omaha just as quickly as I can.
Which will mean more of these relativators.
I hope so.
You want to open the door for me, please, Wilma, so I can carry this one out to the ship?
Surely, Buck.
Perhaps I'd better go out there with you to make sure you get it installed properly.
I wish you would, Doctor.
There you are, Buck.
Thanks. Oh, look.
What?
Well, yes. It's coming right down here.
But so fast. Who's at the controls?
Whoever it is, he's going to crack up.
Then look out,
Get back, Wilma. Here he comes.
He goes.
Well, I wonder who and what under the sun that was. I certainly hope none of our friends got hurt. Fellas and girls, if you'd like a real treat, a wonderful treat, get yourself a creamsicle on a handy stick. Does that hit the spot? A great big chunk of delicious ice cream covered with chocolate fudge or pure fruit flavors. What a nickel's worth. Nourishing, cooling, and made fresh every day in only the best, sunny, inviting ice cream plants. Remember, whether you buy creamsicle, popsicle, or fudgicle, be sure they're genuine. Look for the U.S. registered trademark name printed right on the bag.
Kids, save those bags. Get swell free gifts. Skates, table tennis, a sleeping doll, a wristwatch. Gee, everything you always wanted. But start right away. Because the more bags you save, the better presents you get.
You've been listening to the GSMC Classics series, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Follow us at www.gsmcpodcast.com and find all of our timeless programming by typing GSMC Classics into any podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and more. Remember to subscribe to the GSMC Classics series podcasts of your choice to stay up to date on new episodes. And if you could take a minute to give us a nice review, that really helps us to get this ageless programming out to others who would enjoy it just as much as you have. Check out all of our GSMC Classics series podcasts. Whether you're in the mood for comedy, romance, adventure, history, science fiction, horror, or anything in between, the GSMC Classics series has you covered. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.